Okay, I hope now this bloody works. Got no idea until... I've got no idea until then. Got no idea until someone shows up. If anyone shows up. On the plus side, you can actually see the background now. Look at the blue. Look at the blue. Of course, I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea if this is working until someone shows up. So I'm going to go and check out YouTube, my page, and if I can hear it, and I can hear it, and if not, if not. La noise. Noise. Oh, God. Well, so much for an easy start to a morning. You can actually see the light changing. It's pretty cool. Where's my coffee? There's my coffee. Need my coffee, baby. I'll actually get rid of the other one. Oh, will I? I don't know. We shall see. For we have noise, actual noise. I'm able to transmute with the power of sound. Soundy, sound. At least I think I do. Sound, your sound, bud. Your sound. Sound, short bus. Sound. Anyway, I'm just glad that fucking worked. So you can actually see behind me as the sun, as it's starting to change. See, I told, I said I told you. A, no one was in the chat at the time, and B, no one could have heard me anyway. But once it comes on fucking really quick, and that's what I wanted to show you. It's been pitch dark now for. Yeah, it's starting to really change. You can now just see me as a silhouette. You can also hear the birds. It won't be a beautiful morning because I can tell from looking at Chimor across the river there. It's raining, but it's still going to be good once the sun comes up. So it's 6 o'clock in the morning now. I'm guessing at this rate, within an hour. Soundy, sound. So yeah, a standard Wasted Wednesday tomorrow. I've got people coming over on Friday, so I'll probably whip out the camera along with other things, depending on how the night goes, and we'll all do a magical live stream. That'll be fun. There'll be a lot of boozahol and legal tobacco. So we'll try to wrangle you all in at some point. As a result, that means no stream on Friday. But Wasted Wednesday is still going to happen. Next Friday, I'm off to Sligo. So maybe I'll put together a little collab video. Not collab video, but a little compilation. I'm going to sell off my PS4. I'm going to sell off my... I've got something to do in the village anyway, in Sligo town. But after that, I've got to sell off that, some DVDs. I'm going to put that all towards dollars. And then we'll go and nom, some food. And drink, some booze. Well, I'll drink, she's driving. Last time I treated her to a really kick-ass black olive pizza. I remember that. That was great. Wonder if she's down for that again. That pizza was great. Anyway, with that done, I can actually save on some energy and shut down this. What are we doing for terms of battery life? Currently, battery life is 42 minutes. Can I get that better? Can I get that better? Can I get that better? I can. It's going to require me to move some shit, but I think I can pull this off. So first things first, I'm going to stand up. You may or may not see my bottom. I hope not. I saved that for marriage. These trousers are too big on me. You might see some tush action. They are comfy though. I'll probably head over to the States. There's a little bit of advice for you. Never travel in clothes that are fashionable when you're traveling across the Atlantic or Pacific, because you're going to be stuck in those clothes for hours. Wear something that's comfortable, even if they're ugly and trashy looking. It doesn't matter. You want to feel comfortable. Now I'm going to go and get the charger for this thing. Also put away this. I'll put away this. There. Watch the sunrise come up. Welcome back to Will It Fit? Oh man. We're almost there, fam. Sounds. You can see it now. Cool. It's the future. There. I'm just able to squeeze it up there, but let's see, can I actually get out of here? Oh, this is the most ramshackle setup I've had in a while, but it's pretty. At least it will be once the sun comes up. Stupid lazy sun. Okay. So, yeah. Wasted Wednesday will be, I'll start the day out in the balcony. I was gonna go take this thing up to the pub. I can do that in another week or two because I need to save some money for when everyone comes over. Um, oh, scoot a little bit more. This is about as far as the wire goes. It's like a trip wire right now. Quite literally, if anyone would walk by it. Chris is surprisingly klutzy for a man who's always so thoughtful. He'll normally just trip over the most obvious things in the world and look at them like, how did that get there? So this isn't ideal, but he's fast asleep, so it works. Of course, I'm one to judge, but I'm very dolty. I'm very ditzy. Wow, yeah, there goes Mr. Sun. And of course, the light's right there. That's annoying. That's the only downside. You know who I remind myself of? Besides the most handsome man on the planet. I actually remind myself of that crazy dude PP sometimes talks about, the one with his shirt off and he's often has like a weird filter over him and he's talking like this. He's clearly got some sort of mental disability going on. I can look like him right now. So yeah, when I thought there was sound, I said this, so I'll say it now. I don't really want to do that video, the collaboration video. Not collaboration video, the compilation video, the top 5 one. I'm not going to get rid of all the work I done, but I'm just going to leave it there for now. I'm not feeling it. And that's the thing. If you're not going to feel it, you're not going to do it. Um, Instead, I want to start giving more out and about streams with this laptop, but as right now, I can't do that because this week I've got this. Next week, I could bring the laptop, but I'm already going to be packed enough as it is. So we'll see. I mean, it is possible, but I doubt it. Yeah, you'll probably get a live stream out on Friday. That'd be kind of cool. There's 2 of them coming so far. I went out up on the Shemore hike with them, and I'm not doing the Shemore hike video either. Yeah, that one, the footage didn't come in. I asked for one for footage, and they didn't do it, so kind of all fell apart. Um, so yeah, I liked the I have to admit, I liked 2 Point Hospital, and I liked despite myself, I kind of liked Elder Scrolls, but it didn't catch me in the same way as a regular Bethesda game did. I know Epic Games has a few new games out this month. I think the creator of Limbo created something as well. Like he made another game, and that's currently free. I'll be playing Limbo. I'll probably try to finish Limbo as soon as I get my hands. As soon as I'm finished Alan Wake, so I'll be playing Alan Wake on Wednesday, and um, besides that, 6 o'clock, which means time for some news. Uh, more Brexit bullshit. Jesus Christ. Um, Junk food diet leaves teenager blind and deaf. The, the unnamed youngster admitted avoiding fruits and vegetables since primary school because he did not like the texture. Teenager for years lived on diets of chips, crisps, white bread, and processed meats. Lost hearing and sight because of lack of vitamins and minerals. Jesus. That's mental. which is weird too, because that's basically what I eat. I mean, I do eat a bit more than that. I love brown bread for starters. Lack of B12. Well, I have a lack of B12 by default. That's why I've got these weird looking eyes. I'm always tired. I've been tired since the age of 12. Um, Nearly 450 airline passengers arrested drunk in the last 2 years. Oh, cool. Good for them for being so drunk and annoying everyone on a flight. There's nothing worse because even if you're drunk on a train or a bus, that shit can stop. If you're on a plane and someone is making a complete arse of themselves, you're stuck there for the entirety of the flight. Even if they have to divert, that won't immediately fix everything. If there's one person who's just being so drunkenly gobshite or even being outright violent, they like you can divert the flight. You can even subdue them to a degree, but unless you're planning to shock them into unconsciousness, no. I've been on flights where a lot of drunk people have been very loud. I tend to get a little bit louder on a flight because I'm always nervous of the turbulence. I've flown all my life, but I'm never not going to be a little bit nervous of turbulence. Um, but I end up just flying around and just do my best to distract myself. I I segment hours on a flight into 15 minutes at a time. And let's just say it's a flight over to New York. Well, that's about 8 hours. So the first hour and the last hour go by super fast. And that's because of the excitement of taking off, as well as just the standard stuff you do when you get acclimatized. A lot of people like myself who've been at the airport bar need to go to the toilet the second the toilet lights go on. You've got the whole left, right, back thing, the instructions. Then you hear the captain talking about the basics. And it's always interesting to watch the plane take off because as it's taking off, you're kind of looking out the window and, you know, everything's starting to get longer and further away, and things that are familiar become distant blurs. Um, and then you also, especially if it's a beautifully like bright day, you do what you can to spot as quickly as possible, like the different landmarks that you recognize. Oh, look, here's Dublin Bay. Here's where I used to live for like 10 plus years. Here's here's my old college, things like that. And then it gets harder and harder, and eventually you go above the clouds, and that's it. But the it's when you're over the ocean and there's nothing, and there's just nothing for hours and hours. You might see a little contrail of another plane off in the distance, or in some cases, the plane gets super close to you, and when it gets close to you, but other than maybe the occasional boat, it'd have to be a really big liner, like a big either a passenger liner or a freight cargo ship sailing around the huge wake behind it. It is boring. So of course you drink, and you don't care that it's incredibly expensive compared to what you're getting. You don't care that there's a good chance you won't be talking to the person next to you, or you might be stuck with someone you can't stand. I've had some terrible experiences and some amazing experiences. Most though, it's the most you'll ever say to someone is, "Oh, sorry, I need to get by to the toilet there. Thank you." By the way, if you're ever a big person, always sit on the aisle seat. It's easier. It's just so easier. Um, for everyone involved. Uh, Even though you might want to look out the window, well, you've seen it enough times at this point. At least I have. So yeah, so you drink and you drink and you drink, and it, some people can't handle drink. Some people can't handle stress of flying. Some people have other things in the flight going on in their lives. Maybe they've broken up with someone. Maybe they had an argument with someone. Maybe they didn't get the job they wanted. Maybe they're leaving a dead body back there. Who knows? So if you're flying over, say, the Atlantic, and you're halfway over it, and someone starts making a fucking fool of themselves, no, you're in a bad place because they can either turn back around, which would be the same time again, or you continue on to, say, JFK, and that's going to take another 4 hours or 3 hours or whatever. It's better to say 8 hours because you can also then count for delays. Not always. Sometimes you can even get into flights earlier than expected, which is pretty cool. But that's because someone's delayed someplace else. You see, sometimes when you roll your eyes and think, oh, it's just a delay somewhere for aircraft, if there's a delay somewhere in an international airport, that's going to affect the entire global aircraft network to some degree. And if there's a big delay, say Heathrow, which is the largest airport in the world, they have a strike. People in Hong Kong and fucking like Rio de Janeiro are going to be fucked up, and they're not even traveling to England. So air travel can be stressful. Air travel can be. I had a panic attack in Chicago last year because of first time it's ever happened. Terrifying because I missed my flight and the convention was starting in a few hours. I was so freaked out, and suddenly my vision went blurred, and I kind of almost tipped over. Ooh, that was a rough time. That was a rough time for me. I really just wanted a shower and a few hours sleep, which I got. The hotel room was really nice. Um, didn't get any Chicago style pizza, but I got it on the return flight. Of course, I'm getting Chicago style when I'm off in Chicago proper. But yeah. Anyway, back to drunks on airlines. The anime convention back in November. Do you remember I did the live streams from Ashley and Steve's house in Omaha? There was comic guys, and there was a lot of cosplayers. All the women there were fucking gorgeous. They were beyond gorgeous. Oh Jesus fucking Christ! There was this one woman who she had a bodysuit, which is already nice, and she was Shigo from Kim Possible, and her ass. This thing this thing could just be framed as a picture. It was so pretty. And I was there like, and Ashley had brought over some friends of hers, and they were talking, and I tapped her on the shoulder and pointed out, and suddenly we were all just enthralled by it. She didn't know we were staring at her, but there was like 8 of us all just going, "I think can't be real, can it? I think it is." It was glorious. There's also a girl who was dressed as Diva. I kind of tried to chat up. She wasn't having it. Oh well. I did manage to spank a bunny girl. That was pretty fun. I gave her a spank, and she was off her head. She was absolutely shit faced, and she just out of nowhere just asked me to spank her, and I was just like, okay. So I spanked her. And she said, "Oh come on, put your be a man, put your hand into it." So I winded up and gave her the biggest slap I could, and she went flying forward into the wall. And I was like, "Oh God, are you okay?" And she's like, she's getting, getting the ears back. I'm fine, I'm fine. Oh, but no, there was some hotties there. Most of that convention was just us uh, people watching. Apparently, that's what they do every year. That was actually a really fun time. It was my first ever proper anime convention, and I really liked it. Nebraska, that's what it's called. Highly recommended. They got Panda Oswald in at one point for a panel. I didn't go to any of the panels. They got Vic Magnola. Was it Vic? Is it Vic Magnola? I don't know. Well, he was there. Mm. I even ran into some people I hadn't seen in about 10 years, just out of the blue. And I'm like, or not 10 years, about maybe 6. We didn't leave on good terms either. But that convention was great. And then we went and got like Arby's and Taco Bell, and it was very American. It was very American. I approve. Now back to the weather. Basically, the sun. Despite what this looks like, the sun's actually not up yet. Or if it is, the clouds. It's very cloudy today. So of course today is the perfect day for me to try to do this. But it's nowhere near as bright as. Let's try this. Oh, yeah. It's nowhere near as bright as it looks. It's very overcast. It's very grey. It looks like an old Soviet era picture right now. I don't know how well you can hear them, but the birds woke up. When I was getting the mic earlier, the birds woke up. And once one wakes up, they all wake up. Bird, bird, bird. I don't think I'll miss a lot of things, but one thing I will miss is just the bird song when you wake up in the morning. Not the crows. The crows are dicks. Caw, caw, caw. Hundreds of them just outside our window. Birds are very nice. When we first moved out here, when we lived in Invergale, there was a big collection of swans that literally out your window you could just fling some bread. They were nice. They're such elegant creatures. They're very noisy. And in about an hour and a half, I want to go out and get some breakfast. I've only got £5 to be named until tomorrow, but that's more than enough to get me whatever I want. Yeah, so it's 6:30 now. I did this about 5:30, so I've been streaming for about an hour, give or take, not counting the thing. So in one hour, it went from pitch blackness to this. It's very misty up the hill there. Let's see how well you guys can see that. You should be able to. You can just make out Shimor if you look in between my head and the thing on the tree there on the left. In between that, you just see like this grey image. That's the start of Shimor. That's the foothill of Shimor. We climbed that. That was fun. I didn't plan. I didn't. I really was surprised. I actually managed to pull that shit off. I was in bits. I was covered in sweat. We had a lot of fun up there on the roof. On the summit. But apparently, there's a much cooler mountain nearby called Iron Hill. The Iron Hill that they want to go at. I wonder if the dudes are coming here on Friday as well. They were cool. They're big into like Irish mysticism and things like that. One guy actually knew who TJ Kirk was. That was amazing. That makes a grand total of two people I've met in Ireland so far, face to face, who actually know who the drunken peasants are. The amazing atheist. He was an interesting man. I think his name was James, American Portuguese from Maine, been living here past few years. What is it with Portuguese people and New England? There's a lot of them. It's weird. Not that I'm complaining. I like Portugal. I haven't gone to Portugal in years. Never go to Portugal and start speaking Spanish. That's like going to Scotland and saying that you're either English or you're Irish. Scottish. Yeah, I have nothing but respect for people who wake up like way earlier than this to get to work. Usually not even like office jobs. There's a lot of people earlier on in the previous stream. You could actually see a little light off in the distance, and that's someone's farmhouse. Just like everyone waking up, getting ready to go out to the field and do field things. They're up before the crack of dawn in this case. I respect them, but they live in a different world than me, and I live in a different world than them. You know, if I was smart, I'd learn how to play the guitar and just busk on the street when I'm over in the States. Everyone always says when I've got my big hat on and my coat, I look like I should be playing an instrument. But quite honestly, I don't know how, and I don't. So I've got the look about me, but I don't actually have the means to. Maybe I should get a bit of cardboard and put it down. Um, we'll have a philosophical discussion with you for tips. So tell me, how happy are you right now? What is your end goal? Do you think that's the right thing to do? I'll just come across like some weird Scientologist bullshit. They'll probably just kick me and go, "Hey, this is our street." Irish wisdom for change. When life gives you lemons, ferment the lemons. You just see it's like Mohammed and Ahmed are just glaring at me. Hey, it's up to you if you want to follow it or not. A potato is more than a food source, it's also a friend. What happens in Enniskillen stays in Enniskillen. Never been up to Enniskillen or Letterkenny. Well, no, I have been to Enniskillen. My bad. Never been to Letterkenny. Enniskillen's pretty cool. They're so close to the border with the north that you can actually trade in sterling as well as euro. I need to get my hands on like a decent phone. When I do that, I can just, or even like a GoPro. That would be kind of cool. They're not cheap, but I could kind of just stream. No, a phone would be better. I'd have to find like a hotspot and then kind of just wander about the city in question with you guys in tow. I'll probably do that anyway. Like I'm probably even if I end up getting like a crappy phone, because hell, it works for Evan. Evan hasn't done that in a while, but it's fun when he does it. I'll wander about. Does that mean I need to get a selfie stick? Oh no, not a selfie stick. How much are regular GoPros?